Hi, I'm Alice,
And I'm Sophie.
and we are the co-founders and directors of The Joyful Web. And today we are going to talk about limiting beliefs. So this all comes from a conversation this week that we were having with a friend of ours who, we limiting beliefs and pushing through limiting beliefs is something we talk about quite a lot with each other and with our clients. And we had someone turn around to us this week, be like, so what do you mean when you say limiting belief? So Sophie, what is a limiting belief?
Well, a limiting belief is anything that stops you from moving forward in the direction that you want to go. It quite literally is a belief that limits your progress through life in whatever context that might be. And a lot of the time, limiting beliefs are formed when we are super young and something happens that can be something really extreme or actually something quite, as an adult brain, quite like normal, but for a child is quite affronting. And then we create a belief, and then we carry that belief through our lives, throughout the rest of our lives, and kind of manifest our lives according to those beliefs. So I guess some like really common ones are, work is hard. Like, to succeed, I need to work really hard. To have more money, I need to work harder. I need to do more hours. That's super common, and that's one that we've been working on a lot, isn't it, Alice?
Yes.
I guess other ones, like I've had quite a lot of limiting beliefs around men. Like, they suck. No, they don't actually suck. But yeah, that whole kind of like, why can't I find like a lovely man? And it's like, oh, it's because I literally believe they all suck, and then I'm creating that in my life. Yeah. What other ones have you experienced, Alice?
I think for me, like a big like red flag on a limiting belief is any thought that you have that you catch that starts with I can't,
Yeah.
or I shouldn't, or I couldn't, or sometimes even like I should can be a limiting belief. Like, are you doing something? Is something taking up your time and your energy purely because you feel like you should be doing it, when actually you'd be moving forward faster if you put that energy something else in something else. So like for me, it's, any thought I have that's like, like when we first started the business 3 years ago, my like overriding thought that I had every day was, I can't run a business, or like, I don't know how to run a business.
Yeah. Who am I to be doing this?
And when you're running a business while simultaneously having a limiting belief of, I can't run a business, like, that's never really going to get you very far.
Yeah. And that's the thing that's so amazing about the human mind, is that, human minds want to be right, and will look for justification to prove the theory. And so when you've got this limiting belief of I can't run a business, then everything around you starts to show up as I can't run a business. And you find yourself, well, we've certainly found ourselves really struggling to run a business. And that's really because we believed it, and we were creating that for ourselves all the time. And it was really hard, wasn't it? Like, it felt difficult. Every day felt really difficult.
Yeah, completely. And I think it then like you go from those kind of like action-based limiting beliefs of like I can't, I don't know, to like even worse, like an embodied limiting belief of like I am not. So like I am not creative, I am not intelligent, I am not capable.
Yeah.
And then you go around embodying that on like, it's like, well, I can't do these things and I am not these things.
Or even I am these things, like, I am, a really, really common one is I am chaotic. And people believe, and I've had that one myself too. It's like, I am chaotic, which means that I can't do, finances, or I can't be organized, despite the fact that actually all of the evidence is to the contrary. We create those stories and then we play into those stories, and they become kind of like our identity.
Yeah. Yeah, completely. And what would you say, so in the 3 years that like we've been working together, what would you say is like the single biggest limiting belief that you have personally overcome about yourself?
I'm not good enough. I think that would be my biggest one. And that shows up a lot of the time. Really, limiting beliefs show up in all areas of your life, and they might show up in different ways. But if you've got one in business, so for me, I'm not good enough, then it's probably also showing up in your relationships. It's probably showing up in the way that you deal with money, in the way that you treat yourself and your health and your well-being. And certainly that was, I was self-sabotaging in pretty much every area of my life, and my behaviors were very much a projection of this belief of I'm not good enough. And it was only seeing that and going, oh my gosh, like this is how I'm living my whole life, and how I've actually probably been doing that since I was like, I don't know, 3, when I first came up with this belief. Like, oh, that's why I have drama around me all the time, because I'm creating that for myself subconsciously, because I believe I'm not good enough. So I'm not allowing myself to have these great things that come to me actually very, very regularly. I'm sabotaging them all. Mm-hmm. What about you? What was your biggest one?
I think there's two kind of main ones, and one of them was around like I don't know how, and that showed up everywhere. Like, I don't know how to run a business. I don't know how accounts work. I don't know how to employ someone. I don't know how, like, and that just showed up again and again and again. And I think for me, it's been a series of like having a real word with myself and being like, well, no one knows how. Like, nobody knows how when they start. And I have this kind of, I've realized that my brain has kind of been operating on this like very linear belief system, in that I need to know how in order to, so like I need to know X in order to Y. Mm-hmm. And I think for me, it's been about very consciously interrupting that thought pattern to almost flip it around of like, I can do Y and learn X. So, mm-hmm. So do you know what I mean? Like I can do this and learn how at the same time.
Yeah. And I think it's, sorry.
And then you start to surprise yourself. And then the moment you start to surprise yourself and you think, oh my God, I didn't know I can do that. Then you open up that curiosity of like, well, if I didn't know I could do that and I can do it, what else can I do that I didn't know I can do?
And I think the thing that's so interesting for me, having worked with you so closely for the last 3 years, and I'm sure anyone who's watching who knows you or knows of you, or who maybe has worked with you in the past, it's like the idea that you can't do something is just almost laughable. It's like you're like the most capable person that I've ever met. And it's like, but this is the point. And it's really important, actually, if you're watching this, to understand that our limiting beliefs are a system that we create for ourselves that just often couldn't be any further from the truth for anyone else that's looking in on the outside. And I think it's so humbling when you hear what people who maybe we put on a pedestal, or we think, oh, they've got it all sorted out, or they really know their stuff. When you hear that they've got like, I feel like I don't know, or I feel like I'm not good enough, or I feel like whatever, that's like, oh, okay, we're all just people. We're all just figuring it out as we go along.
Yeah, completely. And so yeah, I had all of that going on, and that's still a work in progress. It's really, like talking about imposter syndrome, like we did in one of our previous videos. It's that paradox of like, the more successful you get and the more evidence you get of what you're capable of, like the worse your imposter syndrome gets. So like, and it's almost like the more you learn, like the more you're aware of like all of this stuff that you can't do. So like that's a constant kind of juggling act. And then my kind of second limiting belief was almost wholly around, I don't deserve.
Yeah.
I don't deserve this. I don't deserve that. And that's been, business and personal, merge. Like, and you know, I know we are both firm believers that it is near impossible to succeed in business without doing the personal mindset work on yourself. And for me, it was all about like, realizing I would never have a successful business if I did not believe I was worthy of running a successful business. Yeah. And that has been all of the inner work around how those belief systems formed. Like, where in my childhood did I feel this person deserves it and I don't? You know, where in my childhood did those beliefs start to be shaped? How have they been being reinforced through my whole life? And really committing to doing the work to overcome them. And this whole, like, you know, success is not going to mean I'm egotistical. It's not going to mean I'm greedy. It's not going to mean that I forget about all of the people that have got me to where I've got, you know. And part of that was like, you know, it was a deserving kind of bound up in this like opposing view that like I couldn't be a successful person and be a good person.
Yeah. And I think that's about rewriting the rules. Because like, you know, if my mum's like our number one fan, so chances are she is watching. So hi, Mum. And you know, I hope she doesn't mind me saying this, but she's kind of long since said to me, you know, you don't have the kind of, you've got too much heart to be an entrepreneur, is essentially what she was saying. Like, you can't be a successful entrepreneur and be as like kind of warm and fuzzy as I am. And that sort of belief also, as much as I know she was coming from the best place, that also kind of comes in there too, because it's like this societal belief system, because our belief systems aren't just our own, they're also created by what we've been exposed to and conditioned by. And this whole idea of that, this is what business looks like, this is what a successful entrepreneur looks like, this is what, you know, even down, we see it as women, we see it all the time, is like, this is what a woman should look like, or, you know, I know men do too. And it's just all complete bollocks. And it's when you start chipping away at it and going, no, like, I don't want that, that's not me, and I'm going to do it my own way. And recreate the system, recreate the rules, recreate my belief system, so that actually, yeah, you can be a really successful business that gives back as much as it takes, if not more, that has a heart, that, you know, isn't trying to fuck people over along the way. Like, you can totally be that. Yeah. And you can only be that, like Anna said, if you get past your belief that you can't. It sounds so simple.
Boom. So I guess that like our invitation to you would be kind of over the next week, try and catch those I can't, I don't, I'm not, I am, I should. Like, try and catch them, like, as they enter your head, and look at them and try and work out where it's coming from. You know, journal if it helps, leave voice notes to yourself, like, talk it out with someone, because having those kind of conversations and almost like not just letting those thoughts just kind of percolate around and come in and out of your brain, but that act of interrupting them and commenting on them and talking about them is the thing that has helped me push past them more than anything else.
Yeah, me too. And it starts with awareness and becoming conscious of the thoughts that probably, when you start looking, have been there for as long as you can remember. And I heard something, and I can't remember we have something like a ridiculous amount of thoughts every single day, but they are the exact same thoughts. So yes, we have thousands of thoughts, but those are thousands of thoughts on repeat that are pretty much put into like quite a small category of topics. And they just go over and over and over. That's how brains work. So when you can catch them and go, oh, I'm having this thought about this thing, where else is this thought playing out? And then you can start to change that thought. Suddenly you start to change your whole reality. It's like, it's neuroscience that is actually magic too, and it's really cool.
So yeah, we'd love to hear from you. Like, share in the comments, let us know, message us, like, what are your limiting beliefs in life, in business, and either what help do you think you need to get through them, or how have you pushed through them in the past in a way that might help other people?
Yeah, I would love to hear from you. And thank you so much for watching. And we'll be back again next week.
Bye.
Bye.